Okay. Today is November the 11th, 2024. And uh, I know that some people will have the same exact situation, or you'll have, you're going to come, someone was going to have this particular battle. I literally today, I was let go of my full time job. I am um, sole income provider for our household, a family of four. And I know the biggest the number one thing for me has been is God, is making sure that um, He's got it, and He's given me so many things, and He's created me in His image, and that I can do anything through Him who strengthens me, and I really don't have any other. I don't have prospects of jobs and things like that. The ones I would be able to have options to take are going to be very significant pay cuts, if you will. And so, I one of the very first things I had done. I did this over the weekend because I knew this was coming over the weekend. But I took a little. I took basically took a an inventory of what's everything I have. There was jobs that I could put in for to generate a little bit of income. There were assets like cheat sheets, and for Pass Registry Now, this part of the business is honestly. I could create a whole new business, or I could go with a business that I've already. An asset to me is the audience that I've already built as well. I've built a huge audience of about 3,000 people, plus an email list of 1,000 people. And so this is one of those things, but I want you to also understand that 3 years ago, 2 years ago, when I started this business, I had zero audience, zero people. And in 90 days, I was able to take it from zero to 8,000, 9,000, excuse me, $9,000 for the month. And it was huge. It was from zero, from scratch to that. And I'm going to show you the exact same thing. I'm going to document this all along the way. But one of the first things you have to do is sit down and think about what things do you have access to? Do you have, let's say, like for example, I had a little bit of an audience, but they didn't know me for what I was for the tutoring, if you will, the Pass Registry Now business. They didn't have that, but they knew me from EMS. So I had an audience that already knew that, Brandon was in EMS. Brandon used to teach. And so I leveraged that, but I was averaging 400 people, adding 400 people a week to my list. But I'd already had a lot of that. So think about, maybe it's an audience of people that know you for something that you've done in the past, kind of a thing. But use that as is take what you got, just put it all on a piece of paper. And so for here, where I'm starting at is there's cheat sheets. He's like, for example, like this right here. EMS employees or EMS students are wanting to know the different disease processes, simple pathophysiology, the assessment, the common findings, different questions, and treatments. I've already got those. I'm going to show you how to do it, but I create AI, use AI to create these cheat sheets. Out of that, I can create study guides. I can create terminology study guides. I have the part of my program is test taking. And I put everything on the table: studying, flashcards, reinforcement materials, accountability, Rockstar access to me, and things like that. And I encourage you to do the same thing. And I did this because I also know that business and money is a huge thing for anyone, especially those in EMS. But I started the same asset thing deal with my business building mastery, and this is something that's going to come along, and I'm going to show this. But the point being is, write down everything that you have access to. Maybe you have some tools that you have access to, like Ecamm or Opus, or some different tools that you might already be using, teaching people different stuff about. Like, I just kind of started this list here. And then I said, okay, well, how much money do I need to make? Well, you look at this and go, well, gosh, you said you need to make $15,000. This is something no one ever talks about, is $15,000. You have to pay taxes on this stuff. No one really talks about that. So 40% of 15,952, if we're talking about 16 sales a month, I just took an arbitrary number. I've kind of played with these numbers, but that's $9,500 a month. Then I've got expenses, and I'm leaving this a little more generous than what they actually are, is $2,500 expenses, and then so my net is $7,000. Me personally, in earned income, this church is 10% a minimum, and take a profit account of 10% as well. It leaves me with $5,600 to pay towards bills and add towards my retirement income so that I can fill in my money. So this right here for me, quite literally, is my first goal. I'm going to hit 16 sales every single month. I will. And so I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay. And so I work in reverse. Okay. And to do this, the 16 sales I have on here is I'm going to have a total show. I'm going to book 44 calls a month. That sounds like a lot. That's 2 a day. But if I know that my close rate is about 40%, I know that 40% is about 16, because I know there's going to be about 4 to 5 people that don't show up. So these are things you need to figure out yourself too. So there's sales calls. About 30% of people that I offer the sales call to will actually book the call. So that gives me this, right? So 150 people offered per month, which come out to 8 offers per day times 5 days a week for the next 90 days. This is my goal. I'm going to go until I hit 5 or 10 sales call offers every single day times 5 days a week. And to do this, to get these conversations going about having 10, I know my numbers already a little bit, but just, you can average, think about between 30 and 40 conversations. That's where you need to be. Reach outs and say, I like being more specific. I know that to get 24 conversations going per day, I need to reach out to about 72 people. So I just multiplied by 3, I think. So I need to reach out to 72 people, because I know a vast majority are not going to respond. So that gives me 24 actual conversations and then I know out of 24, on average, I should hit 8 to 10 people every single day. And I'm going to play with these numbers too a little bit. So that's about the size of it for that. And just you can play with the numbers and do it differently as you go. So I encourage you to do the same thing if that's where you're at, and let's do this.